Assembling the Lumex Patriot Home Care Bed Series. You will need the following components for your bed assembly: foot section, head section, high-low rod sections, motor and hand pendant, caster set, bed end safety pin hardware and lanyards, head end, foot end. Patriot Head and Foot Assembly. Place the head and foot sections on their sides at approximately right angles to each other with motor cams up. Elevate the sleeping surfaces slightly to balance each frame. Take note, when balancing the foot section, do not over-elevate the knee section too high, or the linkage may overextend and bind. Slide the head and foot sections together until the foot section's hook fully engages with the head section's rivet on both sides. Rotate the head frame to straighten and align the frames. Elevate the head sleeping surface to balance. Patriot motor installation. Remove the motor side caps and expose the motor cavity. The motor plungers should be recessed in the cavity. Take note, if the plunger is exposed and visible, plug in the motor and operate the down function on the pendant hand control for head and or knees to recess the plungers. In case of a power failure, the head and foot can be lowered with a 9-volt battery, which is not included. Install the battery at this time. The harness and holder for the battery are located between the motor protrusions. The semi-electric and full electric motors are different. The full electric has an extra port next to the hand pendant, intended for plugging in the high-low motor. Take note, the motor must be positioned properly. The motor is embossed and labeled with symbols designating the head and foot ends. Motor protrusions should be facing up. Remember that the cams must also be in the up position. Position the motor over the welded motor cam. Using the palm of your hand, hit the head end motor casing with enough force to snap the motors square over the tube, and repeat for the foot end. Now reinstall the motor slide caps. Sliding upward, apply pressure while aligning and slotting the tab grooves to ensure all 4 corners are engaged. Both motor caps must be in place and secured before operating the bed motor. If the bed is a full electric, plug the high-low motor into the port beside the pendant port. Ensure the cord is routed under the moving parts of the bed. Carefully lay the bed assembly flat on the floor. Patriot Bed End Installation. The Patriot bed ends are labeled foot and head. Note, if you are assembling a full electric bed, you have 2 socket options to position the casters. Use the outside sockets for a conventional height bed or for transport, and use the inside sockets for a low bed. The caster set comes with 2 locking casters and 2 non-locking casters. Install the casters by pushing or tapping them into the bed end leg sockets. Each end will have 1 locking and 1 non-locking caster. The locking casters should be positioned diagonally from each other when placed on the bed. To install the bed end to the bed, lift the head frame, not the grid sleep surface, and position the end hooks to engage the bed rivets. Straighten the bed end and ensure the rivets are seated in the hooks. Complete the same process for the foot section. When installing foot end on a full electric, make sure the high-low motor coupling is retracted. Shift the end to align the coupling horizontally. Make sure all rivets are seated and engage the high-low motor coupling. Each bed is equipped with bed end safety pin hardware and lanyards. While this locking feature is not necessary for bed operation, it is highly recommended. It will keep the bed ends from accidentally rolling off when moving or pushing the bed. Install at all 4 corners by inserting the pin and washer through the outside of the rivet plate hole under the end hook and secure with hitch pin. The hardware can be secured to the bed end or the bed frame with the lanyard upon disassembly to prevent loss. Universal high-low rod assembly. The universal high-low rod consists of an inner tube that contains a button and 2 adjustment holes, and an outer tube with 7 adjustment holes. To assemble the outer and inner tubes, the Patriot semi-electrics use the 3rd hole. The Patriot full electrics use the last or 7th hole. We will demonstrate using the 7th hole for our full electric bed. You are now ready to install the high-low rod. Both ends of the high-low rod assembly have a slot to mount onto the foot end and head end gearbox pins. The rod is spring-loaded. Attach either end of the spring-loaded tube to the footbed end shaft for semi-electrics or to the high-low motor shaft for full electrics. Be sure to insert the tube over the shaft with notch engaging the shaft roll pin. Compress the high-low rod to engage the head gearbox shaft. If the notch doesn't line up with the shaft roll pin, merely crank the bed or operate the high-low motor until it snaps into place. Attach the other end of the high-low rod assembly to the head end gearbox. Your Patriot bed is now assembled. The Patriot bed frame also includes slots to ensure that your bed rails are attached correctly. Consult user manual for proper placement. Only use Gram-Field Home Care bed rails to ensure safe operation. Please review your Patriot user manual for important safety warnings and operating instructions before using your Patriot Home Care bed.